this place is very sentimental for me because, you know, starting from PlayStation Theater all the way to City Field now, it's like, it's been a journey. Not only did I do it on my own terms and all that, I did it against all odds. This is the beginning of the new level.
Levels. New York is built on them. In that moment, standing on top of the world with Burna Boy, looking out as far as the eye can see, it felt like anything was possible. We started our day at street level, where the music begins and you hear it coming out of every car, every building, every stoop. And you find it at Rock And Soul, a legendary Manhattan spot, instrumental in helping to build the foundation of rap music when it opened in the mid-70s. Burna Boy's new album, I Told Them, encapsulates that can't-be-stopped energy that New York and its hip-hop legacy breeds, which is why we met here, digging in the crates.
Oh, there he is.
I got here early, bro. Good to see you.
All right, how you doing, man?
Good, man. How's things?
So far, so good.
Back out here in the Big Apple?
Yeah, man.
What was the first show? Was it the PS5 show?
Yeah, no, the PlayStation Theater, yeah.
Yeah, Times Square.
Yeah.
6 years ago, just under?
Yeah, that was like 2016 or 17.
Straight now to City Field. You're like the Beatles. Yeah, dude, you went from the Cavern Club to Shea Stadium in 6 years. You're the Beatles. It's crazy. This was like my happy place vinyl, and I love shopping for music, and man. I love getting involved in it. Like, did this kind of ever play a role in your life?
Naughty by Nature, right here.
Oh, yeah, dude, absolutely. That was a big one for me as well as a kid growing up.
Yeah.
I can't remember really what it was about for them, for me. I think it was just, Tretch just was like the samurai on the mic.
Yeah, it's the energies, man.
Energy. What was that moment like when your worlds came together? Like, it's one thing for you to be a fan, and the next thing you know, it's like, okay, well, now I can get them on the phone and we can make this happen.
It was obviously it was a Twice as Tall album where I had them in it.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like I've been a fan since then of them since like I was a baby,
yeah.
Like, literally baby, you know. Like, so it's an honor. It's a great honor that, you know, that could be possible, you know. So it's part of them eye-opening moments where it's just like, rah, this is where I'm at now.
I know.
You know?
It's crazy when you're a fan of something and it seems so far away.
So you don't understand how far away. I can't even explain how far away for me coming from where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
What was your first impression of New York when you came here, having grown up listening to so much of the music that inspired you, and then you finally landed in New York?
To me, it looked just like Lagos, only with more tall buildings closer together.
Yeah.
You know, the same energy as Lagos.
Yeah.
It's the same, everybody's in a hurry.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same, I felt like, wow, this can't be what they've been showing me on TV.
Like, I know this place.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, this don't look like TV land.
Dude, I mean, it couldn't be more different from Auckland, bro. So when I came here, I was like, what is this place? This is crazy. The noise and the energy and everything about it.
Nah, have you been to Lagos?
No, I've been to Mali and other parts. I'm due to go at the end of the year.
Yeah,
First
when you
time.
go to Lagos, you will see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know?
How often did you spend time in Lagos, given that you kind of were raised in River State? And I know it's all part of it.
From high school.
Right.
You know, I got sent to high school there. But even before then, it's like my mom's parents live in Lagos, so I have to go there to see them. And you know, my great-grandma, she couldn't even speak any English. So I have to communicate with her, so I had to learn. You know, so it's like Lagos has always been a part of me. It's like...
Yeah. What about music in Port Harcourt, though, growing up? When I saw the Whiskey documentary, man, I found it profoundly moving. And, you know, I really commend you and the team and everyone who put that together for raising awareness on what's going on out there.
Obviously, there was whatever was going on, but like, we weren't really exposed to it so early. You know, it's like when you're young, you don't really know that anything around you is bad. Yeah. You know, so it's like, it was a great, you know, to us, it was almost like any other play, anyone else growing up.
Yeah, any other child, yeah.
Exactly, so it's as you grow up that you start to understand and you start to realize and take in.
That end of innocence is brutal, right? Because you start to realize the things you didn't have your eyes on at the time.
Literally.
I loved it when you said, like, I was watching or reading some interview where you said, like, someone said, oh, why music? And you're like, it really was the only thing I was consistently good at. I mean, did you try anything else, or was it just...
Yeah, you know what it is? It's like, for me, I'm the kind of person where it's like everything I was interested in, I was good at. But the thing is, it's like maybe one day I'll just see maybe someone will do it better than me or some shit, and then I just kind of start losing interest in the whole thing. And then just move on to something else.
Which is actually super smart when you think about it, because I think what we lack as kids is focus. We don't know what we're focused on. And next thing you know, we're trying to do 6 different things.
Exactly.
It's like it's hard to explain it to young people, but if they can find something that makes their heart beat faster and focus on it.
Exactly, and that's kind of where music came in for me, you know?
When did this come in?
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Nah, this one right here.
Dude, this plays a big part on this album, man. I feel like this is part of the DNA of this new album.
Yeah, man. This is like everything my spirit is in one vinyl.
Is it because, and I always felt this, because to me it walked the line beautifully between the competitiveness of like music and art and rap, but it's like at a higher plane, spiritually.
That's
and
what I'm saying.
Thematically.
It's more like a script, like a manual.
Yeah.
You know, it's more like a manual to people coming from where we call, you know, like worldwide. It's like everyone comes from something like this worldwide.
The number 7 appears a lot on this, and the number 7 appears on your new album as well, Big 7.
That's the number of God.
Right.
Yeah.
I always loved the fact that they referred to each other as gods as well. And then they brought that whole kind of the way that they apply religion into this album and into hip hop, and with all of the kung fu and everything going on around it. It was all about discipline and it was all about servitude, but it was also very street.
Knowledge of self.
And very hip. Yeah. And you've gotten to sit with RZA recently and explore that knowledge.
Yeah.
It's always a deep experience.
For me, those are the most priceless moments for me, you know?
He's not big on small talk, RZA.
Exactly.
He gets deep into the heart of it. You're both cancers as well, born a couple of days apart. Do you see elements
2 days apart.
2 days apart, it's crazy. Do you see elements of him when he talks, or do you recognize him in yourself, and do you think it goes vice versa?
Literally, you know, like that's why I'm more drawn towards, you know, his wisdom and his teachings, if you may, you know?
Yeah. So what role did incorporating some of the theology of the Wu-Tang Clan into your album, what role did that have in helping you make this new album, I Told Them? Having like the Kung Fu samples and Jizza and things like that.
It kind of showed me exactly the way I wanted to express what I was feeling and what my unit was feeling. You know, it's like the spirit of my unit, like, you know, just kind of put that in, because this is every day, like, you know, like this is a side where it's like people don't really get to see, because it's like I don't really care for anyone. You know, I like I have fun with it like this, you know, but I felt like this time, this is a how do I put it, a more understandable way to pass that feeling and that energy across, you know, and at the same time showing you that's not you, like showing everyone really that, you know, the combination of worlds is something that we haven't really capitalized on. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, once we're all unified, everything else, the fruits of that just take care of everything.
You know, this whole idea of having reaching an audience on a global level from within your community is something that the arts have finally been able to embrace. I think about I think about people like Fela, right?
Yeah.
Imagine what would have happened if Fela didn't have gatekeepers telling him that his music could only exist in certain record stores and radio weren't going to touch it and everything else. I think about how impactful this music is just by being handed around from person to person, you know what I mean? But now, imagine if Fela came out at a time when streaming services were around and it was like, you could just hear it whenever you want. No one could tell you straight up, like, you have to be a real head to find that, or you have to go experience it. We're not going to play it on mainstream. Do you know what I mean?
But for me, you see what I've realized is the times are really funny, because Fela in his time was going through things that if he was here today, right, it might have been a whole different feeling. Do you know what I mean? Like a whole bunch of people especially, in fact, almost only from Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who you see today celebrating Fela and saying, oh yeah, he's this and he's great and all this. Yeah. Are the same people, yeah, that if, let's say there was Twitter today or some shit, they're the same people that will be talking about, oh, they'll be tagging the police to go and arrest Fela for some shit. You know, some stupid, like, they'll be doing, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I feel like the times are so, like, God doesn't make mistakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the times are just perfect for everyone, you know what I mean? Because, like if he was here today and his career started,
he may not have the space to explore that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because there's too much in this day and age that just doesn't interlock with the spirit.
Yeah. No, we drown out the good stuff.
Exactly. It's like right now, spirituality is almost non-existent. You understand? Now it's just mostly run by stupidity and ignorance, you know what I mean? So, and it was still the same back then, but it wasn't as amplified and there wasn't so much access to the stupidity and ignorance.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, different distractions.
Yeah, now everything is defined by stupidity and ignorance. You know what I mean? So it's different times, and I'm grateful for the fact that he existed in his time so that, you know, we could get and experience the true organic nature of what he was and the essence of what he stood for and what he tried to, the message he passed across to us, you know what I mean?
You know, man, it's whenever I hear your music, new music, or I spend time talking with you, or I experience anything that you're doing as Burna Boy, I feel like that is to some degree the clash that exists in your spirit, which is, I exist in a time where music comes out like this and people talk about it like this.
Yeah.
But you're trying to keep some of that, like trying to find a place where, just trying to find some space.
For me, it's like, I wish I was there. Like that was my time. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, but then I'd be like, if it was my time, maybe I wouldn't be, you know, this person and this, you know, have this understanding of what I understand today. You know what I mean? Maybe the understanding of what was happening back then I would have been out of place, you know? It's like, so I just take everything for what it is and just do what feels best to my spirit.
I was thinking about you the other day, man, because I was playing Sprinter and I was watching the way that song, that Dave Vincent record is just flying.
Crazy.
And then I was like checking out Jay Huss's stuff. I was like, oh my days. And then Stormzy with the new AA or whatever, just the street singles. And I'm like, wow, the UK is about to have maybe the most eruptive era of global success in a long, long time. And I was thinking, you've been so central to that and had such an important collaborative role in that, and friendships have formed out of all that experience. Their success is your success. I was dying to ask you how you feel watching all your peers and your friends now starting to, it's happening.
I mean, for me, it's something I'm always, you know, I'm always happy, proud, and honored to be a part of, you know? Especially because it's like I'm kind of a, how do you explain it? It's like it's like they're like my cousins.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So win or lose, it doesn't matter. There's still pride.
So it's like they're like my cousins. To see them get to where they're getting to, and you know, me being along in that journey as a cousin, not even like a brother or sister. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's amazing, you know?
It's because the music is sounding like so exciting. It's wild how when I hear these records now, I don't even think that it's a case of all these other metrics of value coming into play. I think it's just the quality of the music and the energy, you know? What about this cat?
Yeah,
oh my
boss.
Gosh. Oh my gosh.
The God.
I know.
Yeah, I was actually with him yesterday.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. What are you guys talking about? Just hangers kicking it?
Shit, a lot of stuff, man. Just building, you know, just building for real.
What does the future look like with you and Busta Rhymes in it? That's what I want to know.
Well, it's bright. That's all I can tell you.
Wow. Wow. This must be the greatest time in your life as a fan. To know that you've reached a point where that as we were saying before, that road that began with being a fan has led you to this place where you get to share in these experiences, you know?
Yeah, man.
Hang out with RZA, go make potentially some greatness for Busta Rhymes. It's crazy.
Crazy.
Do we do when these people don't know what you've been through?
All right, album time, bro. A lot to talk about on this album. I'm excited to get into it with you. I told them. Told who? Told us?
Everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah. But most especially, you know, they say a lot of times that a prophet is not really recognizing his own home and shit. So this one is for the part of my own home and the people in my own home who didn't believe or doubted or still doubt or any type of thing. You know what I mean? So this is, and not just them, it's like everyone that ever heard me speak in the past or in when I first started. You know, if you can go back to my old tweets and stuff, like I basically predicted everything that's happening now. You know, so this is basically that.
That's one of the things I love about social media. We don't give enough credit for the fact that it is like low-key a manifestation tool.
For real.
You know, once you put it out to the world, I mean, you're gonna feel something when you release that that verbiage, right?
But people don't get that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
People don't understand the power of that.
I wondered what you were gonna do after the last album because it was such a personal record. And I was like, all right, he's releasing a lot of himself to us now. Where's he gonna go? I was like, is he gonna get out the acoustic guitar? We're gonna get Burna unplugged. But you kind of went the other way. But well, that's interesting. We'll talk about that later on. But you kind of went the other way, man. There's like a lot of, it's like I talk about Drake. Like my favorite Drake is chip on the shoulder Drake. Like there's a little bit of a chip on the shoulder on this album.
Yeah. I have to say, I must admit.
It's a little bit of like, if you don't get it, yeah, a little bit. And so how do you describe that energy before you, because I know you don't write conventionally, you go and you feel, and then you express yourself in the creative place from the head and the heart. What's that feel like before it makes it onto a record? That sense of like, well, how after all this time you still don't get it? I'm gonna put it on the record.
It's almost like I'm happy they you know?
Yeah.
Because
it's juice.
If they did, then I would have to make some other album. You know what I mean?
You'll find some other foe.
Exactly. There'll be something else to sing about, but this is fun. It's fun to tell people something you know is true and they doubt. And then they end up seeing it. You know, there's no greater feeling.
Yeah, I kind of need to know a little bit more about like where the doubt lives, because obviously I'm on the other side where I'm seeing all the achievements and all the success and a road that just seems endless for you. So it's interesting to me at this point when you're going into stadiums that you still got this kind of healthy sort of fuck you attitude, you know, in this record.
It's really because of where I'm from, man, and the shit I have to go through to just maneuver, you know, and just to stay with my crown on my head, you know.
Why do you think it is? Why do you think it's harder for the people that know you best to love you the most?
Because they don't know you best. You just thought they did. You know what I mean? And that was where you made the mistake. You know what I mean? Yeah. When you realize that, when you start going around the world and you start seeing that, oh, there's actually motherfuckers that know me a lot better than the people that have shared the same
experience in life.
Not even experience, because half of them, you know, 90% of them have almost no real life experiences that they can understand, which is why you hear most of Nigerian music, or I would say African music, I don't even know what to say, Afro beats, as people call it. It's mostly about nothing. Literally nothing. There's no substance to it. Like nobody's talking about anything. It's just a great time. It's an amazing time. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, life is not an amazing time. Do you know what I mean? No matter how nice you want of a time you're having now, or you had at some point, or you plan to have, you're still going to face life.
Yeah, and if I'm lying.
Exactly. So it's like, for me, I feel like music should be that. Music should be the essence of the artist. You understand? The artist is a person. Like me speaking for myself, the artist is a person who has good days, bad days, great days, and worse days. You know what I mean? And for me, if I give you something like this with my face on it and my name, then I should be giving you that. experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That should be a window for you to see some of, you know, that essence.
This album is full of it. There's emotional moments, there's tributes, there's, I mean, I mentioned If I'm Lying before. I don't like doing hierarchy, especially in direct, like, connection with the artist. Like, you're right in front of me, so I'm about to make a statement. But I think for me, If I'm Lying might be the best thing you've ever done for me.
I feel so too.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it's my best song ever.
I mean, just the lyrics, the way that you connect the idea of going through the human experience to the end of the world, while the world could potentially be coming to an end. You know, like, so it's just beautiful, and the performance is out of control. I'd love to know where you recorded that, because I can't imagine it was in a conventional place.
Oh man, that's actually the most funniest story of recording in the whole.
If you tell me it was in the back of a tour bus, I'm gonna leave and we're like.
No, not that.
Okay.
It wasn't that crazy, but
Right.
So basically, I'm in St. Martin. I went to St. Martin. I was on tour in the whole Caribbean, and it was St. Martin's dates. And I'm there, and I call Still Bangles, who is in the UK, because we were supposed to finish the Sidhu track. Rest in peace, Sidhu. I couldn't be there. I have to be in.
Yeah,
so he had to fly to St. Kitts, right, for the Sidhu track. Now, did that, naturally slapped it off quickly, and then we're just kicking it now. We're in St. Kitts.
Yeah, job's mission accomplished.
Mission's accomplished, right? But the show hasn't happened yet. The show is still supposed to happen like the next night or something like that. And then it rains crazy. Like crazy.
Like only you can out in that part of the world. Like,
really,
just like that too.
Real rain, right?
Yeah.
And then the stage, everything was just fucked. There's no way the show could happen, right? So now, just kicking it basically, right? So Bangles goes to the waterfront and he's just there, hours, just in front of the beach, just listening to the water, just, you feel me, with his laptop and whatever, you know what I mean? And then later on, he just comes back and just opens the shit and just plays that shit.
So he made that shit in front, like the way he's staring at the ocean on his own with a laptop open. Dude. What a beautiful fusion of the real, holistic, spiritual earth and technology.
It's raining.
And his laptop's open.
Yes. Like, obviously he's covered.
But still.
He has his ways and shit.
So the words came to you like they always do? You felt it and it just rolled?
It's spiritual.
Spiritual.
You know?
That song is spiritual.
Yeah.
The chorus is crazy, man. Like, If I'm Lying, you know, I can't remember the exact words, but the trees are dying and everything's just coming to a natural end.
I'll let you guys be the judge of that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know, like, oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I'll let you guys be the judge of how amazing that song is, right about.
Easy. I mean, just humble, you know, just humble.
You know, the spirit and the legacy and the influence of Virgil will never, ever die. And
Ever.
because humanity and as a species will keep it alive, and the greatness will, and you see it in everything now. I see it way more than I saw it even when he was here.
That's how it goes.
Right? I'm just noticing it, I think, just everywhere. He was such a good friend of yours, and I love the tribute. I love hearing him speak, and I love the way he was sort of connecting with you about your music. Was that for Love Damini, or was that for this album?
That was actually for Love Damini. That was supposed to be the whole thing, the whole concept behind it, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what him, my sister, and I, we were the creative team behind, you know, this shit, thinking about, okay, yeah, this is how it's gonna be, and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, and then fucking he died, you know? And then everything just got weird.
I think about your relationship now with fabric and clothes and things, right? And I think about the way people relate to the art and fashion. I think before it was something that fashion paid for, and now I think it feels like a natural trade between arts. And I feel like Virgil was one of the first people, in the modern age at least, to really connect all of his passions into one thing, and everyone followed him in.
Especially like Virgil was the heart of this shit, like, you know what I mean? It was like the heart of the whole fashion world, especially for us black. And not just that, it's like just the cold creativity in the man's head, like it's just a difference. Like you look at something, he looks at it, you're seeing a whole You're seeing different colors than each. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
And we spoke a bit about the Big Seven, Big Seven being, the seven gods, and you use that to pay tribute in a special way to Sidhu and to Virgil and to those people that have come before you. Can we talk a bit more about that song and what it means to, how you felt when you were creating that piece of music? Because I can hear in it how important it is to you. And it seems to have a special place on the album.
I mean, for me, that song is, it's like, how do I explain it? Have you seen that cartoon, Robot Chicken?
No.
It's not really a cartoon, it's more like animated, but it's a cartoon, but it's, But then it's like, it's called Robot Chicken, but you never really see a robot chicken.
Right. Right.
It's just a bunch of random scenes happening.
Right.
You feel me? And
Right.
but it all comes together though. It's like, this is all part of one machinery. You know what I mean? And you just see it like, these are the compartments of the mind and of the series of events. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like that song and the whole album, like the body of work, the way it goes and stuff. That's kind of the way the way I wanted you to see it. I wanted you to feel like it's the robot chicken of my mind, and my being, Like, so that's really what I was trying to achieve.
When I saw the track listing and I saw it was a thank you at the end.
Yeah.
Thanks. And I was like, I was excited because I was thinking, here we're gonna get this like beautiful tribute. A roll call of all who've come before in the footsteps, standing on the shoulders of giants, African or otherwise. And then the first lyric is the motherfucking thanks I get. Not at all. I loved it because to me it's like, it sums up the album beautifully, which is that for all there is to be grateful for, don't think I'm resting and settling in that place.
Exactly.
What is important to you about the term credit? Because that song, you even start rolling it out like Afrofusion. That's me. Like I'm opening these doors for you all. And is this the motherfucking thanks I get?
Literally. That's the thing. For me, it's like, I'm not gonna say I don't want credit because everyone wants credit for what they do and shit. But for me, it's more like I want credit from places where it actually matters. You know what I mean? Places where it actually, even though in reality don't mean nothing, but places where like you can say why, you can explain, and it makes sense to everybody. You know what I mean? Like that's the type of shit I want. I want to go somewhere where it's like they see the work and they see everything, the journey and everything, and they're like, this is amazing. This is, congratulations. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's only based on that. Like, not based off of, I don't like this person, right? And because I know you don't like this person, I'm gonna tell you congratulations for some shit.
Yeah.
Or because I've paid you some type of money or
no
whatever.
conditions. Unconditional.
Yeah, that's the type of shit that means something, and you don't get that in my country.
I was going to say, obviously it really still means something to you that for all of the miles traveled and all of the numbers done, that when you go home, that it means something to the people.
Yeah, exactly. It means something to the people who are not part of the game in a way. You know what I mean? Yeah. It means something to people who have nothing to gain or lose and no stakes in the matter.
It makes
you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it makes sense. Because I know that you're frustrated with this whole kind of idea of sort of you're successful on industry terms. The first artist to do that, the first African artist to do that, the first Nigerian artist to do that, and I know I get it now. You're like, it has to mean more than that.
Exactly.
It has to mean more than that.
It does.
Yeah, I get it.
It really does, because right now there's too much smoke. Like, there's too much lies. You know what I mean? And it's like, there's people who have never and will never leave Nigeria. Do you know what I mean? So they're going to be probably depending on what another person who has never left Nigeria is going to be typing and saying about something outside Nigeria. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's just all funny. Like, it's like for me, it's like, I only want to see what's real. Like, I only want to see and feel stuff and accept stuff that is actually real. And I wish...
You're in the wrong industry.
Exactly. And that's what I realized. That's why I just...
This is all made up.
It's on steroids in Nigeria, but it's like, it's a worldwide pandemic.
Yeah. And you've exposed yourself to it now. That's the difference.
Exactly. For me right now, it's like, I'm not worried about nothing. I see everything for what it is now. And it's like, nothing really matters that much. Nothing is really that deep, you know what I mean? It's like, just educate, elevate, and be true to self, and let the rest be what it is.
The jewels, the 12 jewels. What are these 12 jewels? Well, for that, you have to talk to RZA, the Abbott, Wu-Tang Clan. And that's exactly what Burna Boy did. And within that conversation, he recorded a piece of audio that gave him 12 jewels broken into 4 categories, which, if lived by, these principles can provide the foundation for a deserving and righteous life. This is a RZA philosophy, one that RZA shared with you on the record, which is so beautiful. The 4 pillars broken into 3. Knowledge.
Knowledge is based on you and what you're looking for and your goal.
Wisdom.
I get the best wisdom from anywhere. Life is a school for me, you know, it's just constant learning.
Freedom.
I'm happy for the ability to open the door and walk out and come back when I want, you know, and, you know, just little shit like that.
All right, big one, bro, justice.
Self, weighing myself, you know.
Do you have good sense of self-awareness?
Well, I would like to think so. I mean, I feel like sometimes I do and sometimes I get mad confused because it's like, it's too much going on at the same time.
So is love a simple or a complex?
I only really know 2 extreme types of love, which is one is like love from family, like your mother and your father and shit like that. And then, you know, love from multitudes of millions.
Food, clothing, and shelter, very important in order to build a foundation out of that. Those are survival. Do you like material things?
I don't live for material things. You know, I'm not defined by material things.
What was your first memory of taste?
I was a fat kid, man. I tasted everything.
Home, what is home? What is shelter?
It's just comfort, like, you know, it's your most comfortable place, you know?
So what is peace then?
When you're home, not literally, like, I mean, when you're home, it's like you're at peace, you know what I mean? Unless your house is not in order.
So the 12th jewel, the crucial one is happiness. Do you sort of know that there's a time in your life where happiness will be something else?
The fact that I'm here now and, you know, and like I'm alive and everything is going the way it's going. But there's also the one where it's like, it's almost never there, you know, but when it is, it's like, it's great.
Big Zephyr, Big Zephyr, Big Zephyr, Big Zephyr. First of all, rest in peace, Virgil Abloh. Don't spill no drink on my clothes when I'm Louis V dripping.
Do you even have a turntable?
Yeah.
Great, let's get some records. I'm gonna buy you some records. I'm sure you have that one.
Of course.
I saw something over here I wanted to get you. Oh yeah, I know where it is. Hang on. Do you have the Curtis Mayfield live album?
Honestly, I don't even know who that is.
Bro, let me buy this for you. Here it is. Bro, that is incredible. It's a game changer. There's a song on here, The Makings of You. It's one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard, and that live version is just unbelievable. Thank you for letting us use your amazing place.
You picking this up?
Yeah, I'm excited. Do you know this place is like super legendary? Like it opened kind of when hip hop was first starting out with Kool Herc. And
Right, it did. It opened in 75, so we're almost
75.
75, right? So you're like literally, what are you talking, like 2 years after Kool Herc played that record in Sedgwick Avenue, this place opened up. So the doors open up and it's all going on out there So everyone's coming in and out of this place. So this place kind of helped build hip hop and rap.
A lot of people say that.
It's pretty amazing.
That's deep.
It's pretty deep.
Thank you for that.
And that's the thing. When you spend time with Burna Boy, you feel the gratitude. None more so than in New York City, where that idea of listening to music as a young person so far away catapulted him into Manhattan and went from ground level all the way up to the top floor of one of the biggest buildings in New York City, literally standing on top of the world, staring in the direction of the stadium that he's about to play in just over 24 hours' time. I think that's when he realized this is where the next level begins. I don't know, man. Does it look like Lagos now?
No.
Yeah, it's like still like nothing you've ever seen.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. It's like too many buildings, like, you know, so close together. It's like, I haven't seen that before.
What do you love about this city? Now that you've traced it from being a fan of the music and what was born out of here to being here to playing the biggest stadium in the city, like, how's your relationship changed with this place? What do you love about it?
Well, that's a very deep one for me because this place is very sentimental for me because, you know, starting from PlayStation Theater all the way to Citi Field now, it's like, it's been a journey. You know, and there's been many steps, you know.
Did you feel the odds at the time, or did you not pay them any mind and just keep focused on the mission?
I mean, I definitely felt them, but I also, if I paid them any mind, then I wouldn't be here. Now, you know what I mean? I would have fell for their lies and their little minds, you know what I mean?
Mm. You talk about little minds, and it's interesting, you know, I think as people trying to comprehend what's outside of our own environment is tough. It's just tough for any of us to do that. And you've got so many miles on the road now, Burna, like trying to think of parts of the world you haven't seen or places you haven't gone.
I haven't been to China yet, so.
Soon come, right? Soon. But how has it opened your mind for better or for worse? The more that you see the world, the more that you experience. What is your take on it?
Man, the more I see the world and the more I experience, just kind of makes me understand myself a bit more, understand why things are the way they are a bit more, and why I just have a lot of answers, you know, to a lot of questions I used to have and previously didn't have answers for.
You seem to be more at peace with those answers too.
Yeah.
Because I think it can go the other way. Sometimes the more we see, the more we don't like, and the angrier it can make us. But you seem to be able to accept that what will be. That seems to be the
definitely, man. I mean, that also doesn't mean that I'm not angry and I don't get angry and I don't get, you know, doesn't mean I like everything, you know, like, but
yeah.
As you said, what will be, and it's like, I change what I have the power to change and leave the rest, you know?
So what is the term, because you've used it a few times, and I've used it in my life before, but I never really took the time to think about it too much. I should have done. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. I know that's somewhat of a mantra for you. Like, how do you do that? How do you prepare for the worst?
If something good happens, you know, I'm happy about it. You know what I mean? If something bad happens, I'm sad about it, but it's like, mentally in the back of my mind, I knew it could have gone that way, you know. So there's a limit of preparation, you know, in the back of my head for it. So it's like, the impact is not as hard as it would have been if, say, I never thought it was possible for it to go that way.
You were naive,
You know what I mean?
I think about the Afrofusion term, and I think about what you've created. To me, it feels like a real step on musically, like arrangements-wise and everything else like that. Like, I love where you've taken on this record. And I wonder whether or not for a while, like, do people do they send you music that they think sounds like your music? Do you go, oh man, don't try and make something that you think that I would make?
That really only happens in America, when I'm in America. You know, but it stopped happening now because, you know, it's happened so much now that everyone now knows that that's not the way to go.
How did you want to evolve the album musically this time around? Like, did you have a feeling in mind for the music that you knew would inspire you lyrically and emotionally?
For me, I just kind of knew the direction I wanted it to go in, and I just knew the feeling I wanted to evoke with it, you know?
The people you've chosen to be on this record, I know it's really poignant. I mean, we didn't talk about Jizza. I got to talk about Jizza, the genius. It's so funny, you know, like RZA always referred to him as being like, you know, this kind of deep philosophical center of the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
What's it been like kind of getting to work with him?
Yeah, it's been a great honor, man. You know?
What's that energy like when you're around it? Because he seems to have this sage wisdom in his work.
I mean, he wasn't there. We weren't personally in the studio together when he did it, but when they sent the first draft to me, I could just feel the energy. It's like most of the shit is about, he's connecting things that have to do with photography, like shit that has to do with, you know, the vision, like photographic shit, and he's made the whole thing like he combine and interlock and just, you know, like just crazy. Man.
It's such an event, like, because the opening song is so awesome, but then just before that happens and goes into normal, it just feels like a movie almost.
Real.
That's what the Wu is so good at, man.
Exactly.
Painting those pictures and
exactly, and that's really what I was aiming for.
Yeah, you captured it beautifully, right to the very end. Finish them. It's making me laugh when I heard that because it's just so like, you know, poof, one last punch. And then Cole.
Yeah.
I mean,
legend, man.
Legend. And someone who I feel like beyond just creatively and musically, you could possibly relate to in the way he handles himself, lives his life and finds his space to disappear to. Is that part of the law of attraction to his work that you sort of recognize in the individual?
Most definitely. Like the truth is often hidden, you know, but when you come across it and you are a person of truth yourself, you can't help but recognize it, you know what I mean? That's really the story of me and J. Cole's, like, I recognize it.
Is that where you're going, do you think?
That's something I've always looked at his sayings and thought, bro, that would be a nice, very conducive way to end up, you know.
At home?
Yeah.
You got some big shows that you've been doing before you get that done. So the Citi Field Stadium show is going to be amazing. Finishing off a summer of stadiums, bro. I'm not going to say you're the first Nigerian to do anything, but it's the first time Burna Boy stepped on, you know, stadium shows on your own terms this year in that regard. How's it been? How have those shows felt from Paris to London to here?
Man, it's been great, man. It's been amazing. It's been the mission, you know. And yeah, I feel like this is the beginning of the new level.
How's it changed the way that you perform? Because I always feel like who you were in Times Square and Gramercy versus who you are now, I know you would have brought the same intention and dedication, but just that size of stage, that size of environment, even just the choreography of having to be in one place or another at a certain point. How has it kind of altered the way you see performance?
To me, it's still the same concept, it's still the same adrenaline, if that's the word. But what changes is the view and the feeling. It's all the same other than that.
Yeah. Where's the mission go next? You've accomplished the stadiums and you've made this beautiful, driving, impactful, kind of slightly pissed off album. Yeah. So what's next? Slightly, just a little bit, just the right side.
Man, what's next is
more music in the canon.
Yeah, it's like this is actually supposed to be a 2-part thing. It's like I told them.
Serious.
In something.
Trying to figure out what the next one's gonna be called now. That's what happened.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there, man.
What about this acoustic album? I wasn't even kidding when I said I'd bring this back up. I think with the voice and the way that you perform your songs, we love the energy and the tempo.
That might be the next one.
Right.
You know,
right.
Never knows.
And people say that if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. That's one of the well-used phrases about New York City, and you know, you're doing it. And you're doing it on your own terms. Is that the thing one of the things you're most proud of is that you've been able to get to these places and play to these crowds, and I don't feel like you've had to compromise at all.
That's the thing I beat my chest the most about, you know? It's the fact that, yeah, not only did I do it on my own terms and all that, I did it against all odds, you know what I mean? And against the wishes of the powers that be in my environment, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's something I'm really proud of.
Go ahead, it's your time, baby.